Who is Sai Baba? Atma is Sai Baba. Atma is Sai Baba. Eyes closed, Swami is here. Other no. Mandir no. Mandir I am not going.
She was saying that after her husband passed away and her son and all got married and he was away and so forth, and her parents were not there with them, and since she was lonely, she thought she'll commit suicide. She was going to go jump into a well, but when she looked into it, when she went there, instead of seeing water, she saw, she calls it moonlight, but she was seeing light in there instead of water. And from that one, very loudly, "Go back," is what she heard
From the well.
from the well. So she says the reason why she felt lonely was her husband was very, very loving, to the degree that when she was not feeling well and she'll lie down, he'll come, not only get her food, but he would feed her. With his hand, he would put in her mouth and feed her, right? So she had a lot of love for him. She was still feeling sad later on, and one day she cried and kind of lied down. Swami came to her house in the village in Nellore, not here.
This is a vision, or is this real?
Real.
Okay.
He came there and tells her that, "Why are you feeling sad? You had enough of family life. Isn't it enough?" "It's enough." Then he says, "It's enough. Now you come to me. Come and stay with me.
I am looking.
And I'll look after you." And
I am looking after you.
Telling Swami.
Tell me, how did you handle the Mahasamadhi?
ఇంకా వారం రోజుల్లో పోతారు గద్దనంగానే చెప్పారు.
Swami told her 1 week prior to his leaving that he's leaving. He told her that.
పిలువు స్వామి అన్నా అంటే వస్తా, నీకే లోటు ఉండదు, భయపడవాలి. లాస్ట్
He said 1 week before, "I am in your heart. I am always there. Whenever you need me, call for me. I will come. But don't be sad." He told her that 1 week prior to leaving his body.
Baba says, don't be sad, Lakshmi. Be happy.
Here is a woman who knows pain, trials, and the many challenges of the spiritual journey. But she also knows bliss. For more than 60 years, Saibadia Lakshmi has been a follower of Holy Man Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Her story, her joy, her love for Baba is shared here in the library gardens just outside of Prashanti Nilayam. Welcome to Souljourns. This interview was recorded in January of 2013 in Puttaparthi, India.
Sai Ram. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Saibadia Lakshmi, thank you very much for joining us on Souljourns.
Thank you.
You've been coming to see Sai Baba for the last 60 years.
Yes.
You were 10 years old.
Yes.
So you're 70 now. Why did you come to see Sai Baba?
మై మదర్ ఫాదర్ అందరూ వస్తుండేదండి, వాళ్ళతో కూడా నన్ను తీసుకొచ్చేవాళ్ళు.
Her mom and dad used to come here, and while they were coming, they would bring her here. That's how she came to Sai Baba.
And did you like Sai Baba?
మదర్ ఫాదర్ వచ్చేది,
చెప్పాను.
చెప్పేది పెళ్లి చేసుకోవాలి, ఒక కొడుకుని అంటావు ఎత్తుకొని రావాలి అన్నాడు స్వామి.
చెప్తా. She came at the age of 10. And she used to tell her parents that she didn't want to go back. She wanted to stay with Swami and she doesn't want marriage and all that one. At that time, Swami told her, "No, you will go back and you will get married and you will have a son and you'll come here with that."
Did you like Sai Baba from the very beginning?
Selection, my husband.
He selected your husband.
Yes.
Did he marry you and your husband?
Yes. Swami doing.
Tell us about that.
Swami selection.
Tell us about the wedding ceremony. Did he sing for you?
93, my marriage.
1990.
19.
Not 93.
Wait. Confusion.
మీ ఏజ్ ఎంత ఉండే అప్పుడు?
మా ఏజ్ అండి
అప్పుడు
15 సంవత్సరాలే, 15 years.
15 years. So 55 years back she got married.
What was that day like?
చెప్తానండి, ఇయర్ కూడా 58 మ్యారేజ్.
58 marriage.
What was that day like?
ఆ దినం ఎలా ఉండే, ఆ దినం ఏం జరిగింది అని చెప్పమంటారు.
ఆ దినం ఏంటి ఆయన చెప్తానండి. ఆ తర్వాత
Let's get a little
Pillale
translation here.
అంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేస్తాను మధ్య మధ్య
1 minute అండి
ఒక్క నిమిషం షీస్ సేయింగ్
ఇది
జస్ట్
తర్వాత చెప్తారు. అబ్సెంట్ మైండ్
You've got that right.
ఇటు కొట్టి సరే కిందకి తీసుకొచ్చేదాన్ని.
The Swami. Swami came to you.
తర్వాత అండి
Time out, because he won't remember everything. He's got to talk a little bit, okay?
She's still describing her early coming, how she used to come and so on. And she would come, like, well, they were come, she comes from Nellore. And as they're coming, she would bring a lot of stuff from there. Swami used to eat beetle leaves at that time, so they would get this fresh beetle leaves from there, lots of them and so on. And also, normally, they won't let children take Swami's food up to his room. But she's one of them who used to have all the food in there, and she'll put the top plate on it, take it upstairs to his room. And then Swami would touch a little bit, you know how little he eats, right?
Yes.
And then after that, he would hit her on the head, like gently, and say, "Now take it back." You know.
What was this place like when you started coming here? It's beautiful today. It's like a garden in here. And so many people come and enjoy it. When you started coming to Prashanti Nilayam, describe what it used to be like here.
ఈ చోటంతా మీరు వచ్చినప్పుడు ఈ
ఇది ఏమీ
చోటంతా
లేదు, ఖాళీ జాగా.
She said that
ఇదంతా
there was
ఖాళీ
nothing
జాగే,
here,
building ఏ
totally
లేదు.
empty space. You know, there was nothing. So it's like a farmland. You know,
No stores? You couldn't buy
Empty
food?
place.
empty place.
Empty place. And where did you sleep, and where did you find bathrooms, and where did you find food stores?
ఇక్కడ పడుకోవడానికి ఏ వసతి ఉండే
నేను
బాత్రూమ్
బయట ఏమండి బయట రూమ్ తీసుకొని ఉన్నాను.
బయట రూమ్ తీసుకున్నాం.
బయట
అంటే
స్వామి మందిరం ఎదురుగుండా రూమ్ తీసుకొని ఉన్నాను.
They took they rented a place.
మై హస్బెండ్ డైడ్ అయిన తర్వాత
అది లేటర్ చెప్తున్నారు మొదలు వచ్చినప్పుడు.
మొదలు వచ్చినప్పుడు మేము స్వామి మందిరంలో ఉండేవాళ్ళమే.
They all used to stay inside the mandir or near the mandir.
The old mandir with the tin roof.
పాతదా కొత్త మందిరమా?
ఎప్పుడు ఎక్కడండి అప్పుడంతా పాత మందిరాలే.
Of course, which one was it?
ఓల్డ్ మందిర్. ఓల్డ్ మందిర్. It was all old mandir.
బట్ పెంకుటిల్లండి, చిన్న చిన్న స్వామి వరండాకి ఎదురుగుండా స్వామి పడుకునేది కనపడుతుండేది. రాజారెడ్డి.
This all this. That it used to be a little like not like a thatched one, but a little tiled house.
Yes.
And then it used to be in front of the mandir, and she used to stay there, and she could see Swami, like he was upstairs, and he could where he sleeps, and everything was visible for them, you know.
And if children were not allowed to give Swami food, why was she allowed to as a child?
మిమ్మల్ని ఎందుకు అలౌ చేశారు?
చిన్నపిల్లని కదండి, ఎత్తుకుపోవచ్చు. చిన్నపిల్లలు పెద్దోళ్ళు తీసుకుపోకూడదు.
ఓహో. It's the other way.
ఆడవాళ్ళు పెద్దవాళ్ళు తీసుకుపో.
Oh, it's other way around. It's older women were not supposed to take his food up, but she was a young little girl, so she was allowed to take it up. That's right.
స్వామి సిస్టర్ భోజనం పెట్టేది స్వామికి.
Swami's sister used to provide the food for him. Her name was Yankamma. Then next was Parvatamma, who provided food for Swami. You know.
Lakshmi, I want to know about the pranks, about the jokes that Swami performed on the kids and the adults.
స్వామి మీతో అంతా అది ఏమంటారు తెలుగు నాకు అనవసరం, హాస్యము జోక్స్ ఏ విధంగా చేసేవాడు ఆ సమయంలో? మీరు పిల్లలు కదా.
పిల్లలైన అదేందో అప్పుడు పట్టించుకునే వాళ్ళం కాదండి.
అంటే స్వామి ఏమైనా లీలలు ఏమైనా చేస్తున్నారా ఆ సమయంలో?
చిత్రావతి తీసుకుపోయేది, బొమ్మలు తీసి ఇచ్చేది, తినడానికి పెట్టేది. ఆడుకునే టైం కదండి, అంత పట్టించుకో.
Little kids, they were not really observing or noticing a lot of things, but Swami would take them to Chitravati, and he used to take out little toys, materialize them, and then he would, at the Kalparuksha there, he would give them, he asked her for a fruit. Well, what do you like to have? And she said that, no, I don't want anything.
బాత్రూములు లేవండి మనకి.
Right. చెప్తాను.
అక్కడే స్నానం చేసేది చిత్రావతిలో. అలా అలా అనుకుంటే నీళ్ళు వచ్చేది, మరచెంబులో నీళ్లు పట్టుకునే వాళ్ళం. అక్కడే ఒంటికి దొడ్డికి అన్నీ చేసేసి గుడ్డలు ఆరేసుకొని స్నానం చేసి తర్వాత ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేవాళ్ళం. 10 గంటలకు భజన.
చెప్తాను.
1 hour భజన.
She's describing a little bit at the life at that time, but he used to, like earlier she told me that he materialized like guava fruit and all that from there for her.
From the wish fulfilling tree?
Yeah, from that tree, and also the toys from the sand. A lot of things she used to do. She says that at that time there were no facilities for the toilets and everything which we have now. Everything is go up to the Chitravati river, you take a little tumbler or whatever with you, and you get the water from there, and you do all your morning ablutions. And
You
all
bathe
that.
there?
Bathe there, and dry your clothes there.
Wash your clothes and dry your
Wash
clothes
your
there?
clothes there, and then they come here, and at 10 o'clock there used to be bhajan.
No, 11 to 12.
11 o'clock.
Yes, sorry. 11
You
to
know,
12.
I can't imagine those of us coming from the U.S. today coming under those conditions without getting sick. Was she
Kuchandi.
often
Sit down.
sick?
మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా మీ అనారోగ్యంతోనేనా అక్కడ
ఆయన అప్పుడే తెలుసుకునేదండి నాకు జ్వరం వచ్చిస్తుంది స్వామి అని నేనంటే ఎక్కడా జ్వరం అని కొట్టేది ఈ తట్టే కొడతాడు ఎందుకు ఈ తట్టే కొడతాడే అనుకుంటున్నాను నాకెందుకు లేవేది అక్కడన్నా కొట్టుకొని అనుకునేదాన్ని తగ్గపోయేదండి.
She says she had fever one time, and she told Swami that she had fever, and you just saw her kind of hitting her head. That's how you used to hit her head, and say that no, you don't have any fever. And she would say that why would he hit me? Yeah, he can hit anywhere he wants, you know.
Maybe by hitting her, he knocked it out of her.
Decide.
Yeah. What about scorpions and snakes?
ఇక్కడ అప్పుడు ఈ తేలు పాములు ఉంటుండే కదా అవి ఎక్కువ
ఏమండి ఇంకోటి చెప్పనా
అచ్చా.
ఇక్కడికి వచ్చిన తర్వాత ఇల్లు కట్టిన ఇంతలా తేలు లోపల ఉండింది నా చీరలో
చీరలో ఉంది.
పోతాను నేను చచ్చిపోనిస్తానా ఎత్తుకుపోయి హాస్పిటల్ ఎత్తుకోపోనా అన్నది
So what was that?
స్వామి
మన గుల్ల
అంటే మీ భర్త కదా
భర్త గారు కాదండి ఇంగ్లీష్ అవి
Oh,
మా
English
భర్త గారు
అతనా?
చనిపోతే నేను ఇక్కడికి
ఇక్కడికి
వచ్చాను.
వచ్చారు. She's relating a story now, fast forwarding to 93 and onwards. She's telling, since you mentioned the scorpions and the snakes, she said after 93, when she came here, after her husband passed away and all that, she was at where the meditation hall is, and she had, in her sari, as she was pointing it out, there was something she felt about this big and thick. She didn't know what it was. And there was this friend, Western friend who was there. German lady was there, and while she didn't know what it was, she said, "What is this?" And she did like that, and as soon as she did like that, a scorpion about the size of this,
Hold on. Okay.
it's scorpion about the size of this
Magila
fell
bit
down,
me.
and she says, she made a comment that, "Oh my goodness, if that bit me, I would be dead because it'll be so poisonous and all." But her German friend said, "No, I won't let you die. I would have carried you all the way to the hospital."
What hospital?
1993.
Yeah. This is 1993, so the hospital was
The
here at that
hospital
time.
was
Yeah.
there, so.
But surely there might have been snakes and scorpions back when she started coming here
అప్పుడు
too.
కూడా ఉంటున్నాయి కదా మీరు వచ్చినప్పుడు.
వచ్చినప్పుడు ఒక బిల్డింగ్ కూడా లేదండి మా ఎవ్వరికి తెలియదండి ఆమెకు కనపడింది.
Okay.
She's mentioning, since you asked about the snakes and so on at that time, she said that she never came across any snake here, and that's very unusual because knowing so many snakes up here and all that. But she's mentioning another part of, which is one time she was coming back from there. In those days there was not much around, and it used to be all trees around here. Where we went to her home today, that was built by that time, and one day she was coming from there. As she was coming from the mandir, lights, whole electricity was gone. It was totally pitch dark, and they, with all the trees and everything was like that, almost like a forest type environment, right? She was coming there all by herself. She felt that, oh, so, I mean, whatever,
Yeah.
she's protected and all. And while she was coming, apparently other people noticed that there was an old lady who was walking with her behind her. And somebody asked her who was that, and she said, "No, I got somebody from the mandir to help me out." But she knows she didn't have anybody to help her.
So it was some protective
Some
person
protective
there.
person was
Maybe
coming
Baba,
along.
maybe
Whatever form it took to come.
Yeah. The miracles back then, Baba
ఓన్లీ
performed.
5 years బ్యాక్ అండి వెనక్కి వెళ్ళిపోయింది ఆ ఒక్కసారే నేను చూసింది పావుని.
Okay.
It's a miracle, as well as that she only one time she saw the snake. Now where we have inside the Prashanti, where the radio Sai is now, and there is this Lord Ganesha with holding a little umbrella there. She was going from there to the radio site. Next to that one, next to it is where that the Vibhuti Seva, where she used to make the packets of Vibhuti. I think it's probably the current the Secretariat's office downstairs. That's where they used to make the Vibhuti. She was going there at that time, and she normally, when she goes, she does what you call, watch your breath. That's the way she moves around. She was watching her breath and walking there. She didn't notice, but she saw a huge snake apparently. It was only 1 foot away from her. And as soon as she realized the snake there, it opened up its hood and raised itself. And she looked at it and said, I have to go one day. Let it be. And that's all she said. She said the snake moved backwards and went away.
Amazing. Lakshmi, we want to talk about the spiritual lessons Baba taught you and the materializations and miracles you saw. And the miracles and materializations are like candy for us. So let's start with that. Tell us about some of the early miracles and materializations.
ఇప్పుడు అద్భుతాలు చేస్తాడు కదా స్వామి, మిరకల్స్ మధ్యగా చేస్తాడు.
చేసుకుంటారు అన్నాడు.
ఇది చెప్తాను ఒక నిమిషం. మళ్ళీ దాన్ని ఇక్కడ నుంచి మొదలు పెడతాం. She said she's telling us some of the miracles which had happened. This is about her time when she said that she didn't want marriage, and she was kind of telling Swami that no, she didn't really want to get married and all. Then Swami said, Bangaru, to her, won't you listen to me? You know, she said, okay, I'll listen to you, right? Then he said he gave it to her mother. He waved his hand and created Mangal Sutram. Mangal Sutram is that holy thread you tie, which kind of seals the marriage, if you want to call it. It's like the ring in the Western world, where you get married, you give ring to each other. Mangal Sutram is like that here. So Swami materialized Mangal Sutram and he gave it to his mother for that one, her mother. And then whoever Swami selected said that those are the right boy or whatever. Those people came and asked for a large amount of dowry. So then Swami said, these are not like fruits on a tree to cut and give it to them. You don't do anything. They will come back. Not only they'll come back, they'll plead to get married to you. So just sit tight is what he told them. You know? So స్వామి చెప్పారు ఏం చేయకుండా వెయిట్ చేయమన్నారు.
అంతే కదండి. తర్వాత మా అమ్మ 15 సంబంధాలు తెచ్చింది రాసుకొని. ఆ చీటీ కూడా చూడలేదు స్వామి. మా అమ్మ చూడలేదండి, నేను చూడలేదండి. ఆయన్ని నల్లగా ఉంటారు.
Well, fill us in on that.
Now she's telling the process, right? The process of selecting the boy, right? No, I'm talking, this is almost like ancient times, you know. 15, 16.
Clarify, was she around 15 or so when she got married?
She got married at the age of 15. So 15. This is still before 15, about 14, 13, whatever.
And how old was her husband at the time she got married?
మీ భర్త ఎంత ఉండండి మీరు చేసుకున్నప్పుడు?
ఆయన నాకు తెలియదు.
She doesn't remember.
Okay.
You got to hear the rest of it.
నాకు 9 years అండి. ఈయన లెక్కేసుకోండి.
24.
Okay, more or less.
More or less. 9-year difference, right? And actually her mom took a list of 15 families who got boys, eligible boys. She took it to Swami. Swami wouldn't look at that sheet. He says, there is a boy over there, this family and all that one.
Swami said that.
Swami said that.
Swami picked the boy.
Swami picked the boy. So that go get, that's the selection that's going to be. And she says that those people were pretty happy. He was working and all that one. And she says that she's kind of, smilingly, jokingly says, he was very dark, you know.
కాదండి, మా అమ్మ అందరిని ఎక్కిరిస్తుంది. మా అమ్మకి నేను ఒకదాన్ని. మా అమ్మ అందరి అబ్బాయిల్ని ఎక్కిరిస్తుంది. ఆహా, ఇదే నీ సంగతి అని బ్లాక్ బాయ్ చేశారు మా స్వామి.
See, her mom used to, not easily, she used to find faults with all the boys who she was looking at. Always like,
even the boy that Baba selected for?
No, what she says is, because my mom was finding faults with all the other boys, so Baba selected a boy who was so dark that, it's like to spite her, you know.
And then
that's what she thinks.
How did her mother respond to that? I mean, obviously, you ended up married.
మా అమ్మగారండి ఇష్టం లే, ఏం నల్లగుంటాడని అందరిని ఎక్కిరిస్తుండే.
She didn't like the boy because he was dark, okay?
That's considered negative?
It's considered negative.
Explain that, I think.
Yeah,
Right,
explain that a little bit.
See, in this part of the world, fairer it is, more desirable.
It's considered
Pretty.
కానీ
Yeah,
బట్
super.
గుడ్ హార్ట్ అండి, చాలా మంచి వ్యక్తి. స్వామి చేసినట్టే నేను స్వామి దగ్గరికి పోతానండి అంటే చక్కగా పోయిరా అనేవాడు.
I got part of that. He had a good heart.
He had a good heart, and also whenever she wanted to go to say that I'm going to go to Swami, visit Swami, he always used to encourage her. It's okay, go to Swami and go visit.
Was it a happy marriage?
మీరు చాలా సంతోషంగా
ఆ తర్వాత హ్యాపీ happy. First no happy.
Happy later,
Oh, happy later.
not at the time of getting married.
Marriage time I am looking black color.
And back in those days, was 15 an average age for women to get married?
ఆ సమయంలో మామూలుగా అమ్మాయిలు 15 ఏళ్ళకి సంవత్సరం పెళ్ళిళ్ళ
ఉండొచ్చండి
Okay.
ఉండొచ్చు.
Were
It's about
people-
the same.
Okay, so sometimes women are getting married younger
Until
even.
in the-
Even younger than that.
Yeah.
Like my own mom, who's much younger than that, got married 8-9
And
years.
if I remember my history correctly, Gandhi and his wife were 13 when they got married. So that happens from time to time.
Yeah.
Now, what about the spiritual lessons? Did people come back in those early days just for materializations, just to be with this very clever young boy, or did they come for spiritual lessons as well?
ఏమడుతున్నారంటే
ఈ బాధలు పడలేక వచ్చేది మమ్మల్ని కూడా తీసుకొని. అది అసలు సంగతి. అది చెప్పకూడదు నేను.
her own, she's giving an example of her own dad who has got 4 brothers, and they were living together, so on.
జాయింట్
And
ఫ్యామిలీ అండి.
joint family living together, and there were a lot of problems and issues and all that one. In order to avoid them, he used to come up to Swami here.
So this served a practical
ప్రామిస్
purpose as
నాట్
well.
జోక్. కరెక్ట్గా
Swami is not a joke.
నో అంత అవసరం
And
లేదు
did,
నాకు.
and did Swami ever get mean? Did he ever get angry with you, Lakshmi?
మై వన్ టైం కూడా నెవర్ స్వామి నాట్ యాంగ్రీ.
Never, huh?
ఫుల్ లాఫింగ్.
What about with your dad or your brothers? And anybody else, did he get mad?
I-
with you?
ఏమన్నా angry అయిందా?
తీవ్రండి
మీ brother తో?
తీసుకొని వచ్చిందండి. నేను ఛార్జీకి డబ్బులు పెట్టా వచ్చావు కదా.
Talking about little miracles, her father used to have a stomach condition, lot of dysentery very regularly and all that stuff, and Swami gave a little something to tie around his waist, and after that one that protected. She says that Swami has been protecting not only like her father, everybody in her family and so on, to the degree like her mom when she wants to come to visit Swami, since they live in a joint family and also not being rich, there are always difficulties with able to come with money and all that stuff. And right in front of Swami's picture, exactly the amount which is needed to come up here showed up.
Really?
Then her mother asked her in-laws, who she was living with, her mother-in-law, if she put the money there. And mother-in-law said, no, she didn't. Then she looked at the money, it was exact enough. So she took the money and came up to Swami. Then as soon as she comes, Swami says, I gave the money for the bus charges to come. So you have come,
So Swami admitted to it.
he put it
Coming.
there, yeah.
Tell me, when you were a young girl and when you were a middle-aged woman and when you were close to the age you are
ఐ నో మై
today,
మదర్.
did you get many interviews with Baba?
మీరు చేశారా?
ఎప్పుడు ఇంటర్వ్యూ. పొలమాల వేసేది, ఇంటర్వ్యూ ఇచ్చేది.
She used to put garlands on Swami.
Interview
She
అనేది
says it's
no
like
problem.
constant interview, all the time interview. She said.
She would take his food to Swami, put garlands.
స్వామి రూమ్కి వచ్చేది, మేము ఉండే రూమ్కి వచ్చేది. పెట్టి మీద అండి గుడ్డ పరిచి పెడితే ఆ పెట్టి మీద కూర్చునేవాళ్ళు. డబ్బాలు ఏదైనా ఉంటే మూత తీసి తినేవాళ్ళు.
Oh, Swami used to come to the room where they were staying in front of the mandir and all that one. And if there is like a no place to sit, like if you have a box, your suitcase or whatever, they will put a little cloth on the top
సూట్
of
కేసు
it.
కాదండి, అవి ట్రంక్ పెట్టి.
Trunk.
సూట్ కేసు
In those days, no suitcase. Suitcase is the modern version. In the old time, those metallic boxes.
Yeah.
So a metallic box was there, and they'll put a little cloth on it. Swami used to come to their room, sit on the top of those there, and he'll open little boxes. If there's any little food item to eat, he'll pick and eat it.
Oh, that's really, really cute. What about
అంత అసూయ నాకు.
She's saying about Swami and her love for Swami. She's saying how jealous she was about only getting Swami to herself.
Well,
right?
isn't that typical with everybody who knows Swami?
She says that she used to make this little flower, what do you call, beads or whatever. I mean, she used to make the mala which goes in the neck, but also these little beads. And when Swami used to do listening to the bhajans, he will kind of beat drum on the hand. He'll have this flower bunch, which she kind of put it together. He would beat on that one, and then he will smell it. She says, once after it is done, she says, I won't give it to anybody except I'll keep it to myself, I'll put it in my hair, and so on. I was jealous about it.
Now, what about in later years? Let's say within the last 10, 15 years, did you have any experiences with Swami?
Last 10, 15,
90.
19.
Okay.
90.
All right.
She's describing a little bit. She's coming up to the last 10, 15 years. Like she's saying about her joint family, and her father had 4 brothers and all that one. So is her grandmother. They were all living in joint family till she got married. After she got married, they kind of went separated out, and that's pretty normal. And after she got married and so forth, then whatever the property they owned, they disposed of it, and then her mother and father, since she was the only child, were staying together with them. They were all together, and her husband passed away in 1990 due to heart failure. So that's how far we came.
And what about after the Mahasamadhi? How did that
I'll try
move?
to get that. ఇప్పుడు మీకు
అర్థంగా వచ్చాడు
అక్కడ లోపల నుంచి
లోపల నుంచో అక్కడి నుంచో నాకే తెలియదు.
చెప్తాను. She was saying that after her husband passed away, and her son and all got married, and he was away and so forth, and her parents were not there with them. And she felt alone, lonely, if you want to call it. And since she was lonely, she thought she'll commit suicide. She was going to go jump into a well and commit suicide. So she went to a very huge, pretty large well somewhere close by, and she was going to go jump into that one. But when she looked into it, when she went there, instead of seeing water, she calls it moonlight, but she was seeing light in there instead of water. And from that one, very loudly, go back, is what she heard
From the well.
from the well. So,
మై విలేజ్ మై విలేజ్
In your village. Go back. How could you be so sad when you knew you had Sai Baba with you always?
1990 అండి.
what
తల్లి
she,
కూడా ఆ మాదిరి ఉండదు.
she says the reason why she felt lonely was her husband was very, very loving, to the degree that when she was not feeling well and she'll lie down, he'll come, not only get her food, but he would feed her. With his hand, he would put in her mouth and feed her, right? So she had a lot of love for him.
ఇస్తే మంచినీళ్ళు తాగా.
She's saying that when he comes home, when he was alive, when he comes home, and the first thing he'll ask is, where is she? And one time she told some of the people over there, tell him that I'm not here, although she was there. And he won't even drink water till she comes, till she gives him water, he won't drink. You know? He was so much loving her and attached to her and so forth. And that's the reason why she felt when he passed.
Such sadness.
Such sadness that she wanted to commit suicide.
Yes. Thank
తర్వాత
goodness.
అండి
Thank goodness she had that experience at that well.
Thinking about it. Me urlo.
మా ఊరికి వచ్చి
Oh. See, she was after, like, she came back after from the well or whatever. She didn't. She heard it comes back, but she was still feeling sad later on. And one day she cried and kind of lied down. Swami came to her house in the village in Nellore, not here.
This is a vision, or is this real?
Real. He
Okay.
came there and tells her that, why are you feeling sad? You had enough of family life. Isn't it enough? It's enough. Then he says, it's enough. Now you come to me. Come and stay with
ఐ
me.
am looking.
And I'll look after you. And,
I am looking after you.
టెలింగ్ స్వామి.
you know.
And he loved you very much. And, it was-
అయ్యో
and after that experience at the well and Baba came to your house, you became happy again?
ఇంక నిద్ర పడితే ఇంక పుట్టపర్తే కనపడుతుంది.
See, after Swami said it, everybody was sleeping. Because he came, she's the only one who's awake. And she told her son that Swami just told me to come, I'm going there. And he said, nah, you're just kind of probably a dreaming illusion, right? Then she says, okay, I won't say anything, but she lied down, but she says, constantly, even though she lied down, she's seeing Puttaparthi constantly, you know.
Okay.
అది
She used to have back pain, even when her husband was alive and all that one, fairly severe back pain. But even though her husband wanted her to get it treated, she used to tell him, no, it's okay, it'll go away because it's only back pain and all that one. Now that she told her son that she wants to go to Puttaparthi, which we heard a little while back. Her son told her that no, since you want to go to Puttaparthi, show yourself to the doctor about your back pain, and if he says that it is okay, then you can go to Puttaparthi. So then they took her to Madras, Chennai, they used to call the Madras at that time. Took it to the doctor, and doctor, when he looked at it and took the X-ray and all, he said that I don't know how she's walking even till now. We need to operate on her right away. Okay. So she said, no, I don't want it. I want to go to Puttaparthi at least before I get it. But her son won't listen. So the surgery was about to begin, and I think they gave this mask, and they used to feed gas at that time, which will kind of, that's the anesthesia they used to give at that time. And they put that on her, and she felt as if she was getting the anesthesia and she's losing her consciousness. At that time, she sees Swami standing there, and with his hands, he is operating on her. And he operates her and everything else. And after about an hour or so, when they take get her off of anesthesia and so forth, she comes up. They tell her it's over. She says, "Yeah, I know, because Swami was doing the surgery." And all the doctors, of course, they were laughing. They said, "We did the surgery, and you say Swami did the surgery." But she knows that he was there and he did the surgery.
Oh,
Because
great
she saw
story.
him doing.
Yeah.
ఎట్లా ఉందమ్మా అని స్వామి ఆపరేషన్ ఇంకా ఆయనకి సంబరం స్వామి ఆపరేషన్ అంటది ఏందనని.
She's saying after the operation, she came off of it, and her son was kind of very worried how the operation went and so forth, and he was crying and all. Then she told him that she saw Swami coming and doing, which made him pretty happy. But then they kept her in the hospital for one day, and they told her that I think they helped her
Urine
to pass urine the first time, prosthetically or whichever way they did it. But they said that now you got to exert a little bit, you got to do it yourself, okay, the normal way. And she couldn't do it. At that time she was lying down and says, "Swami, what is this? Now that the operation is done, this is going on." As she was saying, and she kind of closed her eyes, she saw Swami appear in front of her, and he had grapes. He took a whole bunch of grapes and kind of squeezed them and put the juice in the glass, and she gave it to her. She drank that one, and after that she could pass the urine normally, and everything was.
Swami helped you all the time.
ఆల్ ద టైం అండి. ఇప్పుడు కూడా నిన్న కూడా
She's saying Swami is taking care of her all the time.
Ninna.
Only yesterday she had that pressure cooker where she was cooking. It apparently, the weight you put on it to keep the pressure in there, it kind of flew off, and she was standing there. She said normal, she was looking at it, and it was supposed to hit her head, but it kind of missed and went on the side and so forth. So she's saying that he was taking care of her then, he's taking care of her now.
What?
తర్వాత రిజల్ట్స్ మళ్ళీ చెప్తాను.
She is explaining about how she came to Puttaparthi. Now after the operation, she was still in Chennai, and a few days later, she was still thinking of coming here, and they were still not there, kind of thinking in terms of sending her there. At that time there was intense smell of vibhuti in the house, and very intense. And then her son asked, "Where is this smell coming from?" She said that this smell is coming from Swami, and it'll go away only if you let me go and stay in Puttaparthi with Swami. Then he said, at that time he said, "Okay, Swami, okay." He said, "Swami, Amma will come and stay there." As soon as he said that, the smell went away. Then he brought her here. He looked at the whole place over. Everything is looked good and so forth, and he rented a spot for her to stay and so forth.
And did Swami approve? I thought I heard you say that Swami got you your apartment here. Did he help find it for you? Did he approve of the apartment that you've been living in? It's a beautiful little apartment behind the canteen wall.
అది కూడా చెప్తాను.
She's going to tell that. She'll tell that.
Okay.
దిస్ ఈస్ రెంటెడ్ హౌస్ మై స్టేయింగ్.
ఇది ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఉండేదా?
ఇప్పుడు కాదండి,
అప్పుడు ఉన్నది.
అప్పుడు
correct.
స్వామి
She's relating this time. She used to stay in a rented house. The one which we saw is purchased, I think.
Okay.
And but she was talking about that rented place was right in front of Swami's mandir. Now we are fast forwarding into 90s now, where there was that incident where some students got killed, and that whole thing was occurring outside. And she says she was in her house and had a rented place. The rented place was right in front of Swami's mandir, and yet she was like in some sort of an unconscious state, that she didn't hear, didn't know anything which was going out, although she was right in front of there. And then after about 4 o'clock she woke up, and then she went up there and looked at everything outside. Nobody really told her the story. And later on, Swami said that these kind of, don't get bothered with this thing. These kind of things happen, and this is when the really strong or the devotees who are real, who really follow, who Swami's teachings and like real seeds which are going to grow into trees, those will stay, but the rest of them are like the chaff. The chaff is going to fly off.
Swami said that part?
He made the statement afterwards.
One of the last questions I want to ask is, what was it that brought your happiness back to you?
ఇట్లా అడుగుతారండి, నీకేం లోటు?
Swami used to
Swami,
ask her,
he
what
made
problem
it-
you have? You have no problem. What did I do less for you?
Happy.
Just with Swami, she was always happy right from the beginning.
And you had such wonderful access to Baba every day when you were small and when he was young. Did it disappoint you when so many thousands of people started coming to see Swami?
ఆనందం వాళ్ళు అనిపించాలి కదా, నేను సమాధానం వచ్చిందండి.
So she said the answer
చక్కగా
came to us.
ఉపన్యాసంలో చెప్పాడు.
Whoever felt bad about that not having access to Swami the way they used to have it, Swami said it in the speech in Prashanti. And in that is like earlier I used to be very close to you and so forth, and you all were happy and so on. But now there are a lot more people are coming. Now they should be happy too. It's their turn, right?
తర్వాత అండి,
Swami, she keeps reading and Swami keeps advocating meditation. One should do meditation and all that one. She sat down one time in that room, in her house now, where she lives, to meditate. But instead of starting meditation, she sat, closed her eyes and said, you want me to meditate? Tell me, do you want me to meditate or not? As soon as she said that one, she saw Swami walking into that house, opening the door, walking in, and he blessed her with his hand. He says, yeah, go ahead and do the meditation. And then he turned around, walked out, closed the door and walked out.
A couple of more questions, Lakshmi. How did you handle the Mahasamadhi?
ఇంకా వారం రోజుల్లో పోతారు గద్దనగానే చెప్పారు.
Swami told her 1 week prior to his leaving that he's leaving. He told her that.
That's amazing.
నీ మనసులో పెట్టుకో,
Mudai,
నీ మనసులో నేనుండా, పిలువు, స్వామి అన్నా అంటే వస్తా, నీకే లోటు ఉండదు, భయపడవాలి. లాస్ట్
he said 1 week before, I am in your heart. I am always there. Whenever you need me, call for me. I will come. But don't be sad. He told her that 1 week prior to leaving his body.
Baba says, don't be sad, Lakshmi. Be happy. Final question, Lakshmi. Who is Sai Baba?
హూ ఈజ్ సాయి బాబా? ఆత్మ ఈజ్ సాయి బాబా. ఆత్మ ఈజ్ సాయి బాబా. ఆత్మ ఇన్సైడ్, ఐస్ క్లోజ్, స్వామి ఈజ్ హియర్. అదర్ నో, మందిర్ నో. మందిర్ ఐ ఎమ్ నాట్ గోయింగ్.
You don't go
No.
to the mandir. You don't go to the
No.
Mahasamadhi.
ఫస్ట్ టైం ఐ మెడిటేషన్ డూయింగ్, ఐస్ క్లోజ్, స్వామి టోల్డ్, ఐస్ ఓపెన్, మై ఫేస్ లుకింగ్, స్వామి ఐ ఆమ్ ఫేస్ లుకింగ్.
I want to
Kudu
repeat
unnaru.
this once. Eyes closed,
Yes.
Swami here.
ఎస్,
Eyes closed. It's good for all of us today. And what else did you say?
She used to meditate early on. At that time, Swami used to say, open your eyes. And when she opens her eyes, Swami would be standing there smiling at her. And that's the way he would come tell her, about the meditation and all.
స్వామి మెడిటేషన్ నీ బట్టే నేను చచ్చిపోలే, లేకుంటే అక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చి నేను చచ్చిపోవాలని ఇక్కడికి వస్తే.
People run after looking at the human form. She says, no, somehow Swami says, Swami got me into meditation, convinced, or she got convinced to the degree that it is the self and it is in me, and I really don't need to run after the form.
That's
స్వామి బాగా ఎదుటి చూస్తున్నా, స్వామి అన్న 2 చేతులు ఇట్టి చిట్ట, బా ఎంత లక్కీ మనీగా.
She's telling about the incident that happened in Kodaikanal, the last visit of Swami to Kodaikanal. she was there with her son and grandchildren and all that one to go see.
Last.
And she fell down because something kind of caught up in her feet and her knees were hurting and all that, and they were kind of taking her along to go up to there, and apparently there's a bridge they were crossing to go over to darshan or whatever. And at that time Swami was so busy with so many people and all that, and suddenly she sees this car of Swami coming up right up to where she was at, and then she sees Swami, and then she goes, Swami, and all that, right? And Swami raises both of his hands, blesses her from there, and then he moves.
Oh, beautiful story.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And you know what, Lakshmi? It seems that
Whitefield.
one of Baba's greatest blessings for you is the gift of laughter.
సంతోషం అనేది ఆయన ఇస్తేనే నాకు వచ్చింది, లేకపోతే నాకు రాదుగా.
What's that? What made her laugh there?
ఒక్కటైనా
The
కష్టం ఇస్తే
happiness of that
అనుకోవచ్చు.
thing is only came to me because he gave it. Otherwise, how would it come to me? She says.
Please tell Lakshmi we have time for one final story, and it sounds like it's the story of Whitefield that she was mentioning.
Whitefield ఒక story చెప్పండి.
ఒక story.
But there's another story in Whitefield. She was telling that she was sitting in the darshan line. Swami comes and looks at her, and he looks at her and kind of waves his hand in little strange way. She felt. Then when she went back to her room, right in front of her Swami's picture, there was this suitcase. On that suitcase, there was a brown color lump of vibhuti sitting there, but it was brown in color. And she said, "This vibhuti is here. What should I do?" She asked in her own mind, right? And loud the voice comes out, "Eat it." Right? So she takes it and eats it. She says, "It wasn't like vibhuti. It was all like a medicine, tasting thing."
Yeah.
Then little later she gets it again, about 4 days later, and then again, but different, smaller amount and so on. Then later her son gets it on his hand, quite a bit of it, the vibhuti coming on to him, and he asked her about why he's getting vibhuti on his hand and so on. And her comment at that time is that you probably were going to get something on you, some ailment or something on your hand. That's why that particular thing as vibhuti is there to protect you, because that lump of vibhuti she took it protected her of something. That's what she's concluding.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Would this be called amelioration of karma? Would she think that's amelioration of karma, avoiding an illness like that?
మన కర్మలు ఉంటే అనుభవించాలి. ఈ కర్మని నేను అనుభవించాలి, కాళ్ళు నొప్పులు.
She says karma you have to go through, because she has knee pain, which she says I have to go through it. That's my karma. But the other things which may or may not be in karma, but accidentally if it's coming at you, you're getting the protection for it. She says.
Gyani, would you please tell Lakshmi that we're out of time, but to thank her for wonderful stories and especially for her laughter and her love for Baba.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you,
మా
thank you.
కొడుకు కార్లో వచ్చేటప్పుడు కూడా
Lakshmi, we love you. Sairam.
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 4 గంటలకు ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి, అమ్మా ఇటు కొట్టినాడు మా స్వామి ఉంటాడు మా అన్నాడు రా.
అంటే అప్పుడు ఇది రాత్రి పొద్దున 4 గంటలకు వస్తున్నాడా? రాత్రి తెల్లవారుజామున.
తెల్లవారుజాము 4.
మీరు చెప్పారా లేక స్వామి చెప్పారా?
స్వామి చెప్పారు, నేను చెప్పలే. వచ్చి
Actually, she felt it here.